Guruve Gaura Chandaya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dhanyavad Pranam devotees. So just very briefly, trying to keep up with the questions and answers sessions that come in. Forgive me for the telephone interruption. Normally I would have it cut off whenever I do this, but I just somehow or another didn't get it cut off. Basically, there were two questions that had come in that I did not get a chance to answer. One was a little older than the other. And it was more around social issues, so I'm going to not maybe deal with that right now. I did give a brief reply to the person who asked the question, and I'm praying that will suffice for now. But the other question came in last night, and it was a nice question. The question was that if a person has taken Diksha mantras from a guru who has not yet fully realized their bhajan, are those mantras effective? I'm paraphrasing, but that was the gist of the question. So the answer is that it is ideal that we receive Diksha mantras from someone who's realized the goal of the Diksha mantras. So that is the ideal situation. Is there any other situation under which the mantras may be received? So it's explained that there are three kinds of persons who are eligible for the practice of sadhana bhakti. They're also Kanishta, Uttam, and Madhyam, right? Well, Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam, right? So here, the Uttamadhikari ineligibility, Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, for the practice of bhakti, that person is Sastra Yukti Shuni Punya Drita Shara Yandra Uttamadhikari She Taraye Sangsara. So Taraye Sangsara means that person is also capable to deliver one from the cycle of samsara. So the meaning here is that because that person is Sastra Yukti Suni Punya, based on their Drita Shraddha, means their firm faith in a realized soul. In other words, that person has deep faith in a realized soul and has therefore been able to imbibe from that realized Vaishnava Sastra and Sastra Yukti. So here Sastra means obviously the meaning of Sastra and also the realizations related to Sastra. So realization here does not necessarily mean, in this case, the substance of the revelations of Swarup Shakti or the internal energy. Here it means the realization of the knowledge, because Gyan has a potency. Gyan has the potency of awakening. Therefore, bhakti has Gyan as a natural byproduct. Gyanayatsu vairagyam, Gyanam chayoda hoitakam. Causelessly, when you practice bhakti, Gyan will come. But this Gyan will not, anavritam, it will not cover bhakti. So we cannot say bhakti is just a spiritual practice without Gyan. I think I addressed that once before. That's not true. And actually it can be very detrimental, because the idea of practicing without the idea that Sastra and Sastra Yukti are necessary will lead to sort of either Sahajavad or just many misconceptions arising in the practice. So if someone is Sastra Yukti Suni Punya, they are conversant with the line of teachings coming from our Sriman Mahaprabhu, and they have Drita Shradha, firm faith in those teachings, but also in the personification of those teachings, which is in a sadhu, then that person has the capability of guiding others on the path. Now, if the need for the seva of giving Diksha mantras arises, and that person takes up that seva, it could be understood that the mantras that they give have only the substance of their own realization. So, because it is imbued with firm faith in a sadhu, it has some quality. It is not nothing. It's not like receiving mantras from someone who's neither Vaishnav, neither practicing, neither has any kind of firm faith in a sadhu themselves. So it has some substance. So I've always given a comparison that it is like receiving the blueprint of a house that you want to build. If you want to build a house of bhakti, then the blueprints that come in the form of mantra diksha from someone who may not be Uttam Bhagavat, right? And Uttam Bhagavat even comes to Madhyam Bhagavat platform in order to become a dispensary, that's not the right word, a dispenser of bhakti, right? This is all explained in Madhurya Kandambini, right? That even the Uttam Bhagavat will come to the Madhyam Bhagavat platform. Madhyam Bhagavat here means Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha, right? It means that they have praying for Bhagavan and they understand completely Vaishnav dealings and Vaishnav Maitri according to the different adhikars. Also, they have some Karun Shakti, which means they have so much inclination to help those who are innocent. And they may do a peksha to those who are envious, to those who are not desirous of obtaining the path of bhakti, right? But Jiva Goswami Pad has also explained that sometimes the Karun Shakti in the Madhyam Bhagavat may override the ideal of apeksha, and therefore they may show affection even to those undeserving, right? So Uttam Bhagavat, who comes to Madhyam Bhagavat platform, they are infinitely better positioned to give the substance of the Diksha mantras, the actual form and the actual construction of the Diksha mantras. But just like in my example, you can, like I remember a long time ago, not a long time ago, but when we had some considerations of moving to Florida, at one point we considered building a log cabin. I don't know where the idea came from, but that arose. But one of the things when we did our research was that first you have to go to a company and you just buy blueprints. They don't do construction, they do not do contracting, they don't do anything. They sell only the blueprints. But the blueprint is necessary for a contractor to execute the work. Then you have companies, home building companies, and maybe even log cabin building companies, whom you can go to and they are full service. They will do the blueprints, come out and do the necessary research and excavation and planning and build the actual log cabin or home. So like this, someone who has Uttamadikar and eligibility for the practice of sadhana, who I mentioned, Sastriyukti Sunik Punya Jyotisharanyanyara, that person may also give Diksha mantras. But it is necessary in that case to get Siksha. This is why Rupa Goswami Pad has mentioned Guru Parashraya, Diksha Shiksha is necessary also. One must get Sikshas in the Rahasya, the Dhyan, and maybe even in the Artha of the mantras, right? One meaning of true Diksha mantras is called Vidvad Rudi Diksha, is Mantra Artha Chintan, to be able to contemplate the meanings of the mantra, right? So if you did not receive that, or you don't get that, then it's very hard to extract the efficacy of the mantras. The whole practice of bhakti is not only a ritual or formula. I think I've mentioned that many times, so I'm not going to go back down that path, but it is actually an absorption, avesh. And for that avesh to take place, it is necessary for the understanding of what you're doing to be present while you're doing it. So even if you know what you're doing, but you're absent from that understanding while you're practicing, that's not helpful. And if you don't know exactly what the meaning of what you're doing is, that also won't give the greatest efficacy. All things related to bhakti will give some sukriti, no question. But what is the goal of sukriti? The goal of sukriti is to obtain sadhu sangha. So in obtaining sadhu sangha, then your goal can be fulfilled. So in this case, if someone who is a uttamadikar in the eligibility of the practice of bhakti, based on the strength of their faith in a sadhu and in Sri Bhagavan, and their sasriti suni punya, they can also give diksha mantras. But it should be understood that the illumination and the prabhav, it means the true influence of that mantra, has to be brought out by siksha from any Mahabhagavat Vaishnava. So next question would arise, well then why not go to a Mahabhagavat Vaishnava in the first place? It may be that at the time you took your diksha, any Mahabhagavat was not prominent or not visible. Because from time to time in the Vaishnava Mandal, sometimes a sane Pati Bhakta means like a general in the army of Bhaktas will arise and it becomes very evident this person has that quality. And therefore many people may go there, and many even those who may be in the position I mentioned earlier, Sasripti Sunipunya, if they have taken disciples, even along with their disciples, they will go to that same Pati Mahabhagavat Vaishnava, right, to receive siksha. So in this case, the actual goal of the Diksha mantras can still be fulfilled. Difficulty will come is if two things. One, the person is neither Uttam Bhagavat Vaishnava nor has Uttamadikar in eligibility for sadhana. That means they're not Sastrayukti Suni Punya. And Dridashara Yandra, they don't demonstrate absolute faith in pure Vaishnavas. Because then, when the availability of a pure Vaishnava comes about, if they don't have full faith in pure Vaishnavas, they may block your access to them. In that case, they're actually working against your best interest, and actually whatever mantras they would have given is really zero. Because it is imbued also now with the aparad, right? Because there's 6 elements to aparad to a Vaishnava. One is to fail to welcome a Vaishnava, no hashiram darshane, to not be happy upon seeing a Vaishnava, right? What to speak if any Mahabhagavat Vaishnava is present and you don't have desire to associate, see, greet, etc. What to speak of anything beyond that, right? Then, whatever mantras you would have given, they're imbued with that mood. And therefore, bhakti will not manifest its shakti in that place, right? Even Krishna will leave Vaikuntha. Naham tistami Vaikunte yoginam hridayeshuva. Krishna is saying to Nard, listen Nard, I will give up Vaikuntha wherever my devotees are with pure mood chanting my name. You understand? This is how powerful actual pure prem is in relation to Bhagavan, especially Braja prem. So if anyone meets a high class Rasik Bhavuk Vaishnava, especially Braj Bhav Bhakta, right? Immediately we should run to that place to, if nothing else, get the foot dust of that Vaishnava. If you're more intelligent, then having his association, you'll be able to extract the Rasik Harikatha of that Vaishnava. And if you are more submissive, then you will attract the deep affection of that Vaishnava. This is called Vishramdena Guru Seva, right? And that Vaishnava will bestow their heart's mercy on you. And that Kripa Shakti alone will give life to everything else that you want to accomplish in Bhakti. Ultimately, Bhakti is completely accomplished by Kripa. Because even by aspiration, one may reach the stage of a Shakti, but in the stage of a Shakti, one has to await the Kripa of Bhagavan, or Bhakti rather, to come. Bhaktya Sanjatya Bhaktya. Bhakti comes from Bhakti, and even at the stage of a Shakti, there's still the wait that when will Bhakti Devi bestow her mercy and allow the descent of Swarup Shakti to come. So if you have the opportunity to meet those persons who are Paramaswatantra Bhagavat Bhaktas, who are imbued with Swarup Shakti, right? Then you should go immediately to take their association. If you've previously received Diksha mantras from someone who may have been Uttamadikar in eligibility for practice, that person also, if they're really truly Uttamadikar in eligibility of sadhana, they would not obfuscate your going to that. In fact, they will go with you. And in that association, according to your adhikar, illumination will take place on a deeper level. So especially in your mantras, the prabhav, the prabhavastu means the potency which is inherent in the substance of the mantra will become illuminated. So therefore you'll understand the meaning of the mantras, you'll understand the rahasya, means the mystery of the mantra, you will understand the dhyan, meditation of the mantra, and in this way, by taking the Diksha mantras, they will gradually reveal Nam in two specific ways. Divya Jnanam Yantra Simati Mantre Bhagavat Swarup Jnanam Tena Bhagavat Sambandha Visesh Jnanamscha. So one, it will reveal the particular Ishtadev within Nam that you are chanting. Right? Like within our Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Particularly the form of Shri Radha Krishna Yugu, and the particular mood of service, and the particular methodology of service, and the particular atmosphere of service, and even down to the Vaishishya of the mood, seva, age, and everything else related to your own Swarup will also be revealed by Nam under the influence of the potency of Diksha mantras being given by Uttamadhikari Mahabhagavat Vaishnava, rather by Siksha or literally Diksha, because they can infuse by their Siksha the illumination of the blueprint, back to the analogy I gave of that blueprint received from anybody who had eligibility to give at least that blueprint. Right? And if you had received the akshar, means the letters of the Diksha mantras, but you had no substance because that person was not qualified even in eligibility for the practice of Southern Bhakti, in a Uttam Adhikar, since I've already explained Sastrikti Sunipunya, then still in contact with that Mahabhagavat Vaishnav, they can give Diksha mantras at that time literally, because there are certain circumstances under which a guru, not guru, but a person who may have been posing, I don't want to use the word posing because it may have really negative connotations, but someone who's not truly on the position to be guru, right? But for some reason, maybe Guru Abhiman, maybe any number of reasons, they took that position. At that time, if they are against the principle of what it takes to advance in bhakti, that person may be given up, right? Guru Piyavaliptasha Karim Akarim Agyanata. If they're proven not to know what should be done and what should not be done in achieving the goal of bhakti, then they can be given up, because your interest is in obtaining bhakti. Right? We've not come to join a fan club, social club, team environment, right? We've come for bhakti. And therefore, we align ourselves with the pure conception and line in which bhakti may come. Other than that, we're spending much time in a social contract or social arrangement with someone, and maybe some sukriti involved in that, but it will not give revelation of the inner understandings and the realizations regarding bhakti and bhakti rasa. So I hope this answers the question that yes, if you meet anyone who has eligibility, uttamadhikar, in sadhana bhakti practice, Rupa Goswami is described, I've given that shlok, Sastrikti Suni Punya Jurishara Yandra, etc. Then if there is no visible Mahabhagavat in the Vaishnav Mandal at that time, yes, you can take Diksha mantras and Harinam from that person who is Sastrikti Suni Punya. That person, because they have that quality, if any saint Patibhakta or any Mahabhagavat reveals themselves within the Vaishnav Mandal, all will go there naturally, including that person, and he will take you along with them, or her. Understand? Okay, so hopefully that answered the question to some degree, and I'm happy and hope everyone is having a very blessed Kartik Maas Niyama Seva, and that Srimati Radhika may bestow her blessings through Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada on all of those who are taking this practice of Sri Kartik Maas very seriously and trying to become more deeply involved. So also I'm praying all of you, give me your blessings that my Kartik Maas may give the efficacy of my endeavors. All right. Vancha kalpaturubhischa kripashin duvayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.